Hello, a tip repair, like any other repair, is a sequence of individual steps. In the end you only see the result. You might be surprised that the rod now casts easier and better, especially after a broken tip. But now I want to take you by the hand and show which steps I perform from the moment I unpack the rod, so we can achieve the optimal result. So don't worry, this won't be a special instruction video like on my other YouTube videos, where I go very deep into details. There is a dedicated online course for that. I am currently working through the chapters. I had to wait a bit. The idea has been around for a while, until my new polo shirts arrived, so everything looks tidy and I am not always wearing random t-shirts. Today I will show it on an epic, a hollow glass rod, class 5, 8 feet. The tip section is broken. I will show how to repair that optimally, so it holds again, holds for a long time, and casting with the rod is fun again. Here it is on the bench, and we do not need much, basically just a fiberglass tip. It is much more break resistant than a hollow glass construction. I still have several solid glass tips in stock from the past, so I can choose from plenty. I learned the techniques over the last 40 years. But that is not the focus right now. I will show you the individual steps, so you can imagine the effort it takes to make a rod fully ready for use again. The first step is the same as with carbon fiber rods. Here I have an advantage. Original parts were included. A mid-section and a second tip section. The broken one is here. And here is the original rod, as it was. First comes measurement on the 15-degree power rig. I will do a separate detailed video on what that is about, and which advantages the machine and the measurement provide. Every rod builder or anyone interested in a rod can access the database. We list all rod types that are currently on the market. And the database grows daily. Dealers, vendors, manufacturers are invited to send us their rods, so we can enter the measurement data, and anyone searching for a rod can filter precisely for action, casting weight, line class, length, and more. So, regarding the measurement rig, first we measure what the rod used to be, or currently is. It is supposed to be an 8-foot, class 5, let us see what we get. The first weight, and here the second weight. This is the 15-degree deflection. There is a laser on it. You can see the little lights above. The lower line is the 15-degree mark, and that is roughly what occurs in an optimal cast. Ludwig Riem, who invented it, defined the 15-degree deflection. There is a lot more to say about it, but that would go too far here. I add weight until the rod bends down to that length, meaning the 15 degrees measured from here. And now we have two weights. The first already tells us the line class. Here we have 11.33, and here 51.71.
Und hier haben wir 51,71. Sagt euch jetzt noch nicht recht viel, mir schon. Zum Beispiel
That may not mean much to you yet, but it does to me. For example, the 11.33 grams, the smaller weight, puts us in line class 3, upper range, tending toward class 4.
was soll es eigentlich sein? Ist nicht außergewöhnlich.
It is actually supposed to be a class 5.
Die sind alle etwas
That is not unusual for a hollow glass rod.
als es
They are generally rated slightly stronger than they truly are.
den zwei Gewichten, die wir jetzt da haben, können wir den Powerfaktor
With the two weights we can now calculate the power factor.
geteilt durch die 11,5.
51.71 divided by 11.33.
Ein Viertel von dem Weg ist dieses Gewicht.
That represents the 4 times deflection, 1/4 of the path for this weight, the full path for that weight. Dividing them gives a power factor of 4.53.
Eine mittlere Aktion ist auch für eine Hohlglasrute.
That is a medium action, not unusual for a hollow glass rod.
Wir jetzt einfach mal arbeiten. Das ist also eine, wie gesagt,
So that is what we will work with now.
und jetzt haben wir ja
It is a medium action.
diese hier und die wollen wir ja
Here is the broken tip section.
das abgebrochene Teil,
We want to attach it to the broken part.
als wir jetzt das Ursprung
We need to remove a bit more than the original 6 or 7 centimeters. For that, I turn the rod around.
mal Also sprich,
Now I rely on my feeling and experience, checking the diameters of the solid and hollow parts.
und jetzt muss ich mal wie sagt man denn, mein Gefühl mal arbeiten lassen. Meine Erfahrung, schauen wir den Durchmesser an von dem Hohlteil.
The solid part must be slightly thinner than the original hollow section, otherwise it becomes too heavy.
Durchmesser als das spätere, als das ursprüngliche Hohlteil, weil sonst wird es nämlich zu schwer. Und das mache ich jetzt hier erstmal als ersten Versuch
For the first test I secure it with pipe cleaners.
mit Pfeifenputzern. Das ist eine Professorin.
It is a temporary mount, but I can already measure quite precisely what the outcome will be.
Aber ich kann sie zumindest mal so schon vermessen, was wohl rauskommen wird. Und das ist nämlich ziemlich genau. Mache ich bei jeder Reparatur so. Sich im
I do this for every repair so I already know roughly where we will end up.
ungefähr raus. Oder wo können wir rauskommen? Und dann kann ich das auch
Then I can move it back and forth, maybe sand the tip a little, depending on the target result.
abschleifen, je nachdem, was gewünscht ist und was das Ergebnis dann dabei ist. So, die Länge von dem Teil, die prüfe ich jetzt hier schon mal. Gucken wir mal ganz
Now I check the length of this part, we are in a good range. We could even shorten it slightly, the shorter it is, the lighter it becomes. Looks good, so we will add the tip ring right away.
machen wir da gleich den Spitzenring drauf. Schauen wir, ob wir einen passenden haben. Das ist zu stark.
Yes, fits perfectly. We now need to roll the rod up slightly again.
So, dann müssen wir die Rute etwas hochrollern wieder. Da oben ist nämlich auch ein Laser
There is also a laser above. The rod tip must be perfectly level, in the horizontal plane. For the first measuring point we need less weight. That is how it would look now.
So würde es jetzt dann aussehen. Bisschen feiner in der Spitze wird sie durch die
Through the solid glass tip the upper part becomes a little finer. It has settled slightly, I tighten it again. That happens because the pipe cleaners give way a bit at first. But that is fine, we can simply measure again. Now with the Solitip we have 10.19 grams on 50.69. With 10 grams we are right in the middle of line class 3 and at a power factor of almost 5 and extra fast action.
Da haben wir jetzt mit der Solitip 10,19 auf 50,69 und mit 10,19 liegen wir genau mittig in der Schnurklasse 3. Und bei einem Powerfaktor von ziemlich genau 5.0, also schon eine extra fast Aktion. So, und bevor ich jetzt hier die Säge ansetze und es
Before I start sawing and splicing, I check with Florian to confirm that he wants this action.
halten, ob denn die Aktion so wünscht. Ich weiß, liebt die schnelle Aktion.
I know he loves the fastest action. This old class rod should come back to life, but beyond 5.0 we probably will not get. One option would be to insert the tip a little deeper, making the rod shorter and finer. That would raise the power factor and move the line class theoretically toward 4.
Höher gehen und die Schnurklasse theoretisch in die Nummer 4 reinwandern. Aber das wird abgeklärt mit dem Kunden jeweils.
That is something I always clarify with the customer also with you, if you ever send in a rod like this just how you would like it. Well, that went really fast, dear Florian. I will do it just as you described in your voice message.
Hallo, lieber Theo. Ich melde mich jetzt per Sprachnachricht.
Hello, dear Theo. I am sending this voice note. Sorry, I am a bit out of breath, just coming out of the water. Of course, with your brilliant 9.5 rod, power factor 6.02.
Das ist einfach irre, wie das Ding wirft.
It is incredible how that thing
Ich
casts.
finde, was du da rausgekitzelt hast, ohne das zu kürzen,
what you have drawn out of it without shortening genius. I do not mind having one tip as a 4 and one as a 3. If the 3 has a power factor of around 5.0, it feels like a high-powered old-timer, just brilliant. Please do it that way. And I would like to know if there is a chance we can get the handle right. Because I really do not want a fighting butt on a 4 or 3 weight. But before it gets shorter, we might just leave it. Would love to hear what you think. Greetings from Styria. I already wrote back about the fighting butt issue. I will think about that. Maybe that will become part 2 of this web seminar. I will definitely continue sharing these major topics, so that step by step you can build, modify, or repair your own rods.
Eigene Routen umbauten oder Reparaturen durchführen kann. Aber dazu melde ich mich auf jeden Fall noch, wenn es dann den Fighting.
But I will get back to that when it comes to the fighting butt.
Ich habe es ja vorhin schon gesagt, zum Vermessen.
Now let us move to the next step. As I said before, for measuring I attached the Solitip, the solid glass tip with pipe cleaners. That has proven best, because you can slide the tip back and forth, tighten it again, and the blank is not damaged. It holds firmly enough, and you can already see how the action of the rod will change. So, in the next step I will prepare the joint, adjust, glue and finish everything precisely. Thank you very much.